Hello everyone, ARG back with some more franchise hockey manager now, and today in the world of Hartford Whalers hockey we have the 1981 off season, which now that I'm not doing my own draft has got me a little bit more excited than it did in the past to do that junction of the calendar. So can't wait to see who the computer is going to draft for me. We have a bunch of news to go through, so we're going to go ahead and do that real quick, and then we'll talk about a couple things. Alright, so the top-selling Hartford Whalers jerseys for June: Wilf Payman, John Garrett, Mark Messier, Gordy Roberts, and Darren Veitch. Then we have some people retiring from the world of hockey. So Dennis Kearns retires. He was 35 years old and a star and a half player. Jacques Lemaire says done with the NHL at 35, 2.5 star players. He was in Philadelphia for the last year in hockey. Jean Pronovo retires from hockey as well. He was in Pittsburgh, 35 years old, 2-star player. Jean Rattel in Boston retires as well, 40 years old, 2.5 star player. Serge Savard retires in Montreal, 35, 2 stars. They're going to retire his number. Paul Schmier in Minnesota retiring, 35 years old, 2.5 star player. Carol Vadnet, 35 years old in with the New York Rangers, retires, 2 stars. Alright, so our development report, sadly in June, usually it's just players that are regressing, so those are the players that are getting not as good. Alright, top selling jerseys in the NHL for June. The top one is Tom Williams with the Kings. Take that, Montreal players. Alright, so François Lacombe has been put on the block by the New York Islanders. Ron Ellis retires in Toronto, 36 years old, 2-star player. Right, so that's the draft. So there's a lot of interesting names in there. Now I think I'm going to be drafting around the 5, 6, or 7 spot again. So we have names like James Patrick, John Van Beesbrook, Ron Francis, Dale Howardchuk. I would be happy with most of those players. So hopefully the computer doesn't screw me over. He didn't last season. I think that it went well. So I'm going to try and have a very cautious optimism here. Right, so some teams got new deals for TV agreements, so we're not going to go through that. It's pretty inconsequential for us. Owner confidence update: satisfied with how the team performed, expected to be in rebuild mode, fans aren't thrilled, and things could be better. So pretty much the same stuff that we've been seeing time and time again. Alright, Jets. And changes to the hockey world. Now they're changing the divisions around and everything, and now it's going to be the playoff format that's going to be there for like 10 years or so, I think. So it's going to be basically per conference, per division, and then 1 plays 4, 2 plays 3, and you're not going to see like Vancouver, Boston in the first round anymore. So Alright, so so I did not forget. I didn't even come close to forget. I did my random roll and a number for a player to trade, right? So before the start of every season, I roll a number randomly between 1 and 99 and see if I have a player wearing that number, and if I do, then I am forced to trade them or do everything in my power to trade them during this season. So the number that I rolled this time around between 1 and 99 was 99. So we're good. Nobody wears number 99. I was not able to acquire Wayne Gretzky there, so I mean, how shitty would it have been though if I did? Like if I would have made like a super mega trade to try to get Wayne Gretzky on my team, and then I have to trade him again. I mean, I was already not super thrilled to have to trade Charlie Simmer right after I acquired him. I did, but I wasn't all that thrilled. But we are safe. Now that doesn't mean I'm not gonna make any trades. I'm just not forced to do one. Speaking of which, I did try to make a trade. So in real life, this is when the Whalers kind of fucked up and traded Mike Rogers for basically peanuts to the New York Rangers. So I was like, well, maybe we can try to kind of recreate the trade, except that, you know, I'm not gonna get fleeced like they did in real life. So I tried to fleece the Rangers. It didn't quite work. I had the basis for a good trade, but I just wasn't able to put it over the top for me without giving a first round draft pick, and I wasn't gonna do that. So basically I was gonna get Larry Murphy and Ron Greshner from the Rangers, and I would have had like the defense to make everybody salivate for, you know, a decade, but I wasn't able to pull the trigger on it. So we are going to be keeping Mike Rogers, but on the free agent front, so I only have 6 contract slots. That's not a lot. Okay, and I have a guy that turned 20, so I offered him a contract. Nobody else is getting a contract right now, but the draft is like right around the corner, right? So that's 1 contract slot taken, so I have 5 left, and I'm offering a contract to 1 more guy. You're gonna understand when you're gonna see, and you might have caught it at the start of the stream. I forgot to come in the emails, so I'm a long-time Nordiques fan as a kid, right? And Peter Stastny is available as a free agent, so of course I offered him a contract. You're going to forgive me, right? So it's okay, right, for me to go after one of my very first idols as a kid playing hockey, Peter Stastny. So yeah, I went and offered him a contract. Hopefully he comes over. I do need help at center. That is not going to be muted to the wing this time. So yeah. So other than that, that's that. And, you know, the Anders Karlsson is the guy that I offered a contract to for his entry-level contract. He turned 20. I don't know that he's going to become anything. Star and a half. I mean, maybe he ends up on the 4th line and helps out that way. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe he's going to be used in a trade. Who knows? So this is where we're at. We still have Glenn Anderson that's hurt for a while. And yeah, well, let's see what happens with free. That's the only free agent I'm gonna go after. There's maybe a couple others that I would have been interested if I would have had more contract slots, but with the draft around the corner, I felt that maybe I'm going to end up, you know, too close to comfort. So Peter Stastny it is. So let's get going. Oh, I hate that it does that. Let's advance one day. And by the way, this is Orange Gatorade Zero. I always thought that people were always, you know, like bashing on Orange Gatorade. I don't know why I like Orange Gatorade. I know that it was one of the first original flavors of Gatorade and everything, but I always thought that it was alright. So, anyway. And no, I am absolutely not sponsored by anybody. I mean, it's a wonder that I can afford to put clothes on. So, all right, Anders Karlsson, he's thinking about signing the contract. Peter Stastny's thinking about coming to us. There was a trade between LA and Montreal. A 12th round draft pick for Mike Murphy. Dear God. Okay, it's one of those 2.5 star players that are not exactly 2.5 stars. Got it. And a trade between Colorado and the Islanders, a 12th round draft pick for Bill Lockhead. Minnesota and Quebec, Bill Clement and Dan Bourbonnais go to the Nordiques for Adam Oates and John. Oh my God, the Nordiques got fleeced. Oh, what a fleece. Bill Clement is really declining. He was even maybe talking about retiring. And oh my God, the Minnesota North Stars get Adam Oates out of that. That is crazy. Right, so the Nordiques fleeced the Flyers in the Brian Propp trade, but they just got completely fleeced here. Adam Oates going to the Minnesota North Stars. Man, I wish that I could make it. I guess I can't complain with the trade I made with Edmonton, but still. Colorado and Buffalo. Mike Kitchen goes to the Sabres for a 12th round draft pick. Trade between Philadelphia and Edmonton. Dennis Ververgaard goes to Edmonton for a 5th round draft pick. Oh, our 5th round draft pick goes there. Oh. Alright. In the trade between Quebec and Edmonton, Blair Stewart. Okay. For another 5th round draft pick of ours. They had 2. I'm not sure what's going on. Alright, so the draft is tomorrow. Who are we going to end up with? Okay, so a lot of news as well. Alright, so coach reports on new players. So Randy Cunningworth, Denis Cyr, as we know, they are getting acclimated. Right. Oh, we're drafting 9th. Okay, so we might not get as good a pick as I thought. We might still be getting a good player, though. We should. Right, so Ken Richardson's contract has been bought out by the Blackhawks. Jim Boo, same thing. And Gary Burns. Don Saliski's contract's been bought out by the Buffalo Sabres. Greg Ubik had the same thing happen in Vancouver. Bernie Saunders in Calgary, same thing. Islanders did that to Alex McKendry, Vic Vanaski, Bill Lockett that they just traded for, by the way, and Len Freeg. And then Archie Anderson in Washington, Dave Parrow, Eddie Godden. And then the others did that too. Clayton Paschal, Ron Harrison Cuff, and Roy Sommer. Alright, today's the draft. Is the computer going to fuck me over? I wouldn't mind having a Al McInnes on my team, or a Doug Gilmour, even Grant Fuhr. Alright, so... Alright, let's see. Who goes first? Al McInnes, 1st round draft pick. Goes to the LA Kings. Second is Doug Gilmour with the Red Wings. So the Red Wings have Doug Gilmour and Yari Curry. Eventually, they're going to need to start playing better. Going 3rd is Grant Fuhr. Goes to the Jets. Oh, the Jets have also Andy Moog, I think. So, like, the duo of real life that was in Edmonton is now going to be in Winnipeg instead. Still in Canada. But. Right, going 4th is Paul McDermott, going to the Washington Capitals. Going 5th is James Patrick, going to the Colorado Rockies. The 6th pick is Steve Smith, going to the St. Louis Blues. 7th is Gary Galley, going to the Canucks. So a lot of D-man being drafted right now. Number 8 is Dale Hawerchuk, going to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Ron Francis is still on the board, by the way, folks. So we might be getting the player that the Whalers got in real life. Oh, we get a goaltender. So that's going to be our goaltender of the future right there. Mike Vernon, pick number 9 by us. I'm not going to complain. I needed a goaltender for the future. Now, would I have preferred maybe a Ron Francis or something? Yeah, probably. Or maybe even John Van Beesbrook. But I'll take Mike Vernon. That's fine. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go here. And then I'm going to find a way to see who it is that we have drafted. I didn't even finish the 1st round. Look at me. Look how terrible I am. Alright, so let's see. Our last pick from France, Jean-Christophe Leron something. That's in the 12th round. So we're like the draftees are from all over the place. Alright, so let's see, is there a way that I can... I don't think so. Probably here. Well, it's gonna be easier from the other place that I wanted to check, to be honest with you. So we're just gonna advance at that point. Alright, so the best drafts were the Jets, the Blues, and the Rockies, and the worst were the Canadians, Red Wings, and Bruins. Now the Red Wings can't afford to have bad drafts. They are already not doing all that well in my universe. Oh yeah. Oh, as a funny twist of events, Montreal drafted Marty McSorley. I'm saying it's a funny twist of fate because of what happened in the playoffs in 1993 between the Kings and the Montreal Canadiens, like the Marty McSorley stick incident and whatnot. So. Alright. Alright, so Robbie Ftorek has been put on the block by the Flyers 1 year after acquiring him from the Quebec Nordiques for Brian Propp. Then Edmonton and Quebec made a deal. Pierre Guité and the rights to Stefan Steinbach go to Quebec for Mark Hamway. So now I need to see who it is that we drafted. Alright, so I suppose we can... Oh, that's a terrible way to... Like, we're not, like, highlighted, so... Yeah, so you know what? I'm gonna come here, and I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna come here, and we're gonna get to see who it is that we have. Alright, so of course, Mike Vernon. And then in the second round, we got Todd Bergen. Played 14 games in his NHL career and had 11 goals. Oh, Sean Cronin. Okay, I'm familiar with that name. Not that he's super good. Oh, Jonas Bergquist. When you start a Ottawa Senators save whenever they start in 1992, yeah, that's one of the top free agents that you can get. Jonas Bergquist. I'm familiar with him because of that. Yeah, I can't say that we got a whole lot in that trade, so we didn't like hit many home runs here. Now Mike Vernon should become a pretty good goaltender, so I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, all right. So let's see. Okay, you have a contract offer. Okay, nobody else. And now I have to check to see who started in 81-82. Oh shit, not you. You're gonna be signing at 20. You're gonna get signed at 20. Signed at 20. Alright, Alright, sorry if it's taking a minute. I'm checking to make sure that I don't have like somebody that started early in their career. Alright, so we definitely didn't get the type of good draft that we got last year. So it's gonna be a little bit more challenging. I don't have anything that I have here that I can like use as a trade chip because I'm going to be holding on to Mike Vernon. We drafted overseas a lot, which, you know, wouldn't happen all that much back in the day. Jean-Christophe Lerondeau. Oh, you did play. Oh! So Todd Strube did play in 81-82. Didn't play long in the NHL. He played a whopping 5 games, but you get a contract because you did play in 81-82. So Strube gets a contract. Oh yeah. Okay. Jacques Sylvestre. And finally, Mike Vernon. When did you play in the NHL? Starting next year. Alright, so next year, Mike Vernon's going to get a contract. Even though in real life he only played 2 games, that counts for me. But he's going to stay in junior for this year. Alright, so that's pretty much it. That means that... So I should be at 47 contract, assuming that Peter Stastny signs. Hopefully he does. That's 3 players, and I had 6 contracts. 44 plus 3 is 47. So yeah, I should be at 47 contracts if Stastny signs. Alright, so Carson did sign. Alright, and Todd Strube. I'm gonna call him Strube. Maybe it's Struby. I don't know. Yes, I got Peter Stastny. That makes me happy. I'm a former Nordics kid, man. That makes me happy to have Peter Stastny. Alright. We just need to have Strube to sign. There you go. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put everybody on the team right away. Peter Stastny is going to be wearing number 62. Number 26 was taken already, I guess. Or not. Okay. Oh yeah, he's not going to be out of place at all. Oh, Peter Stastny, I'm so happy to see you. Alright, let's get everybody called up. The fun part, right? Yeah, number 26 in here. No, why isn't Peter Stastny wearing number 26? Maybe it's gonna change at the start of the season. Maybe he's been given a rookie number. Oops. So I'm hoping that, oh dear God, I'm hoping that my goaltenders that are starting to get old, I'm hoping that at least one of them can hold off until Mike Vernon is ready to take the starter spot. I'd hate to have to get another goaltender, but I don't know what's going to happen. we having fun bringing all of those guys up one by one or what? There we go. Alright, and now it's pretty much simming day by day until we get to the preseason. Of course, we're back to playing 7 games. I don't know why we only played 5 preseason games last season. Oh yeah, so I guess I should talk about that. So I said that they have reorganized like the conferences and the divisions, right, and the playoff format. So we are going to be in a division with the Quebec Nordiques, the Buffalo Sabres, the Montreal Canadiens, and the Boston Bruins. Not an easy one. The Buffalo Sabres, Montreal Canadiens, and Boston Bruins have all been very good teams in the past, so it's going to be a tough conference to a tough division. Sorry to come true. Then you have the Islanders, Capitals, Penguins, Rangers, Flyers in one, the Blues, Jets, North Stars, Blackhawks, Maple Leafs, Red Wings in one, and then Colorado, Edmonton, Calgary, LA, and Vancouver in one. So geographically, it's starting to make a little bit more sense compared to what it was before. Could Tim Young be traded? Is in Minnesota. I did look at him. He was the most talented guy that was on the trading block before I started, but no, not interested. Yeah, I got the one free agent player that I wanted, and the computer better not play him at the fucking wing. I'm trying to get some depth at center here. Eddie is shopping Steve Jensen. Back to basics for Bob Miller. Sometimes it's the little things that make the biggest impact. At least that's the thought Bob Miller had when he decided on his off-season regimen. I decided to reach out to my old coach and work out like I used to. Not only was I able to spend some time in my hometown of Billerica, I put in a ton of work in the gym. Miller continued, I think it is really going to pay off when the season starts. Alright, so we'll see. We will see. Oh, there's been a trade between the Blues and the Capitals. Leafs Svensson goes to the Blues for Paul McLean. I think the Caps at the upper end there. Paul McLean was a power forward. Leafs Svensson is an aging defenseman. I guess we shall see. Paul McLean's only 23 as well. Oh, Jacques Richard is on the block with the Buffalo Sabres, and then there's been a trade between Winnipeg and LA. Lorna Henning for J.P. Kelly. It is the off-season, so we might see some blockbuster trades. That would be nice. It would be nice indeed. I always like to see big trades. I don't really care. Oh, Anton Stastny is still available. Should I try to get Anton Stastny as well? I need help on the wing and he's still available. Well, you know what? Why not reunite the brothers is what I always say. That's not true. That's not what I always say. In fact, I don't think I've ever said that, but I'm saying it right now. Jeez, if they're going to let me have Anton Stastny as well, might as well go and get him. Come with your brother, buddy. Now, Rick Meagher in real life played for the Whalers in that season. I'm not gonna go for him though, but he did play for the Whalers. Just a piece of trivia, I guess. Right, top selling Hartford Whalers jerseys for July. Peter Stastny sold the most jerseys. The newcomer, the free agent. Peter Stastny, John Garrett, Wolf Payment, Mark Messier, and Anders Carlson, another newcomer. Oh wow, Anders Carlson is wearing number 2 as a centerman. That's something you see every day. Development report, again, it's in July, so it's just players that are getting worse. So I'm not gonna look at that too much. It's gonna make me depressed. Top selling NHL jerseys for July. Guy Lafleur is number 1. Larry Robinson is number 2. Anton Stastny is thinking about signing with us and coming with his brother. Yes, please. Then Greg Shepard has been put on the block by the Maple Leafs. Hall of Fame induction. Look at that. We're going to go ahead and see if the people that I have voted for that I don't remember who they are, we're going to guess. I guess we're going to see if they made it in. Oh, Johnny Busick, I'm pretty sure I voted for him. So Johnny Busick made it into the All. Frank Malovlich, I did vote for him. He made it into the All. Rod Gilbert, I don't remember if I voted for him. And Harry Lumley, I don't think I voted for him. So those are the Hall of Fame inductees. Alright, so as we saw, those guys all got inducted, and then there's been a trade between the Montreal Canadiens and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Bill Nyrup goes to the Leafs for Don McIver and the rights to Daryl Hanault. Very small trade. Very small trade. Oh yeah, so I got Peter and Anton Stastny. Oh yeah. So Anders Carlson is going to take a while to get used to his new environment, and then those... Oh, Randy Cunningworth is not there anymore. Dennis is, and then Todd Struby. Right, Anton Stastny signs his new deal with us. Oh, yeah. Right, so we have Peter and Anton Stastny. Now, what happened? Okay, so Peter and Anton Stastny were in the old Czechoslovakia, and they defected, and in real life, they were signed by the Quebec Nordiques, and with their other brother as well. So it was Anton, Peter, and... Oh god, what was the name of their other brother? They had a third brother. I forget the name. I used to know it. Sorry. And they were signed by the Quebec Nordiques, but it was a lot later than that, I think. I don't think it was in 81, but yeah. Marian, it was Marian, Anton, Peter, Anton, and Marian Stastny. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Marian Stastny. Maybe not. Dear God. So I'm getting Anton and Peter on my team. I needed help on the wing, right? So there you go. I have 2 contract slots left, so I'm gonna need to be very picky if I'm picking a free agent. Not a free agent, but a guy on waivers. I'm gonna need to be very careful about who it is that I am picking up. Alright, so Joe Micheletti in St. Louis has been put on the block. There's been a trade between the Rangers and the Penguins. John Markell and the rights to Jim Walsh go to the Penguins for Tim Bernard. Where are the big trades that we saw like in the previous offseason? Like there were a bunch of big trades. Where are they? Doug Hicks has been put on the block by the Oilers. Ooh, so Robbie Ftorek got traded to Detroit for Brent Peterson. Right, so Philadelphia's listening for offers to Jimmy Watson, so on the block. Alright, so Montreal and Winnipeg made a trade. Mike Amadeo goes to Montreal for Yvon Vautour and the rights to Mark Holden. Very small trade. Oh, so Montreal didn't keep Laurie Boschman for all that long, so they trade Laurie Boschman to the Detroit Red Wings for Barry Long. I don't know, but I think that the Red Wings have the upper hand here. That's my feeling. Alright, Dan Anderson is feeling better. Should be starting to practice soon. And then there's been a trade between the Rangers and the Bruins. Stan Jonathan, oh, an icon in Boston. Stan Jonathan and the rights to Larry Melnick go to the Rangers for Warren Miller and John Winsick. Right, John Davidson from the Rangers has been put on the block. Right, so yeah, there's nobody else that I want now. Right, the top-selling Hartford Whalers jerseys for August: Anton Stastny, Wolf Payman, John Garrett, Mark Messier, and Paul Coffey. Development report, it's in August, so again, it's just players getting worse. Top-selling NHL jerseys for August: Guy Lafleur and Larry Robinson are number 1 and 2. And the Canada Cup starts today. Alright, we are September 2nd. Wayne Gretzky has a memorable game for Canada. He had 3 goals and 3 assists against the NHL All-Stars. There was no stopping Denis Maruk in that same game. He had 3 goals and an assist. United States defeat Czechoslovakia in Canada Cup 4-1. Oh, we had 3 players playing there. None of our players did anything. And USSR defeats Finland. And we had Matti Hagman play for Finland in a 9-2 loss for his team. Didn't do nothing. Coach report on new players. I guess Denis C is finally comfortable. Canada defeats Czechoslovakia in Canada Cup 5-1. Good night for Yari Curry. It was a 3 goals and 1 assist performance against the NHL All-Stars. The NHL All-Stars have not scored a goal. What's going on there? Tapio Levo in that same game had 4 assists. Finland defeats... The United States defeats Sweden 4-2. Gordy Roberts didn't do nothing. Whoa. Larry Robinson has been put on the block by the Montreal Canadiens. Oh. Now he's 30 already, but man... Larry Robinson. I wouldn't hate having him on my team. I wonder if... yeah, I probably cannot afford Larry Robinson. Whew. Canada defeats Finland in Canada Cup 4-1. Sweden defeats Czechoslovakia 4-3. Anton Stastny did have a goal. USSR, Igor Larionov is hurt. Strong game for Sergei Makarov. He had 2 goals and 5 assists. Vladimir Krutov had a hat trick, and Igor Larionov had 3 goals and 3 assists. Oh, Glenn Anderson is almost back in time. He's gonna be back in time. USSR defeats Finland in Canada Cup. 6-3. Matti Hagman had an assist. Tom Gorrance is sidelined for the US. Oh god, he has a concussion. He's out indefinitely. That's gonna hurt the Flyers. Czechoslovakia edged by United States 5-4. Alright. And barbecue too hot to handle for Dave Semenko, so he can handle the faces of his opponents, but cannot cook himself a burger. Alright, so United States defeats Sweden in Canada Cup 4-3. Finland defeats NHL All-Stars 10-0. Glenn Anderson on the edge of returning. And there's been a trade between Washington and Winnipeg. Larry Carrier for Rolly Boutin. A really very small trade. Alright, and today... Oh, no, not today. Sorry. The United States defeat Canada 4-2. Gordy Roberts with a goal and an assist. Big game for Viktor Zlutkov. He had 3 goals and 2 assists. Peter Stastny improves at right wing. I guess he's playing right wing at the World Canada Cup or whatever. Sweden defeats Czechoslovakia 4-1. Canada Cup group stage finished. So Canada, Finland, and United States, USSR. Glenn Anderson completely recovered, and Detroit is looking to move Reed Larson. Wow, big names are put on the block. Okay, and injury list. Glenn Anderson becomes active. Thank you. Trade between Boston and Philadelphia. Craig McTavish and Earl in Garfield go to Philadelphia for Paul Holmgren and Arto Rotanen. Interesting. Alright, so Canada defeats Finland 7-1, and USSR defeat the US 5-2. Canada Cup MVP won by Wayne Gretzky. Best goalie was Glenn Hanlon. Best defenseman was Vyacheslav Fetisov. The best forward was Wayne Gretzky. And USSR wins the Canada Cup by defeating Canada 2-1 in the last game. Alright, and in 5 days our preseason finally starts. Looks like Rick Middleton is on the block with Boston, so we have a few big names on the block. Larry Robinson, Reed Larson, Rick Middleton. Oh, a trade between the North Stars and the Oilers. Stu Gavin and Kim Spencer go to Edmonton for Doug Hicks and Lyle Moffat. So not a big trade. Oh, I doubt that Stu Gavin is going to become a 3-star player. I would be very surprised. Alright, we're going to advance one more day and then the preseason is going to start. Oh, I have to set my captains, huh? Messier is becoming the captain of this team. I'm fine with Wolf Payment and Mike Rogers as the assistant. Alright, so Mark Messier, captain of the Hartford Whalers. Alright, so the preseason starts here in Edmonton. So Edmonton, of course, knocked us out of the playoffs in the first round in the previous year in 5 games. And now we are going to look into maybe avenging that in a game that doesn't matter. But it matters for players that are trying to fight for a spot in the lineup. So let's take a quick look at Edmonton here. All right, so Dave Semenko, as we saw, couldn't handle cooking a burger on the grill, and he's hurt. Now, let's see, Eddie Mio and our old pal Al Smith is still around. Cam PC, Ade, Low Price, Holloway, Hamilton, Langevin, okay. And of course, this guy. Let's see if we can beat the Oilers in a preseason game. Right, John Garrett is going to be in net for us. Al Smith, our old pal, is going to be in net for the Oilers. And of course, go Whalers, go. Preseason hockey. Come on, Hartford. 5-4 win on the road. I will always take a win on the road. Oh, we were outshot 40-29, so maybe we can say a little thank you here to our friend John Garrett. Glenn Anderson was the first star of the game. He had 3 assists. Callaghan was the second star with a goal and 2 assists, and Mark Renault was the third star with 2 assists. Let's see. Oilers scored first in the first period, then Mike Rogers scored on the power play from Wilf Payment and Darren Veitch. Then Mark Messier from Glenn Anderson and Rick Aduano, 2-1 Hartford, but the Oilers scored, tied the game. It was 2-2 after 1. There was a fight between Pat Price and Brent Sutter. In the second period, the Oilers took a 3-2 lead. Then Kent Carson scored from Glenn Anderson and Darren Veitch. Then the Oilers took the lead again, and we tied again. Mike Rogers scored his second goal of the game from Mark Renault and Glenn Anderson, 4-4 after 2. Another fight between Cam Connor and Ray Allison, and then finally in the third period, only 1 goal. Mark Messier scored from Jay Wells and Mark Renault, 5-4 the final score. And another fight between Stu Gavin and Wilf Payment. Stu Gavin, freshly acquired by the Oilers in a trade that I feel like they probably lost. I think they got fooled by that 3-star potential that Stu Gavin has. Dom Nagbar is hurt. 2 to 3 weeks. All right, we're going to put you on the injured reserve. All right. Good game for Rick Hampton with the Nordiques. He had 3 goals and an assist against the Buffalo Sabres. And John Ogrodnik has a great game. He had a hat-trick against the North Stars. Alright, we have a day off, and then we are going to be at home to play against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And it is still preseason, so it still doesn't count. Alright, let's take a quick look in Pittsburgh. No injuries to speak of. Not a great team over there, so. Michel Larocque is going to be in net for Pittsburgh. We're going to have John Garrett in net. And go Whalers, go. A 5-5 tie. So it looks like we have no problem scoring goals, but it also looks like we have no problems allowing goals either. So that might be problematic for the regular season. Right, so Bill Kitchen was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Mulhern was the second star with a goal and an assist, and Bandura was the third star with an assist. We were outshot 45-29. I don't think I said that. 6,338 people in attendance for this preseason game. Pittsburgh opened up the scoring in the first. It was 1-0 Pittsburgh. Then we had 2 fights, Paul Coffey and Orest Kindrachuk, and then Jeff Brubaker and Jack McIlhargy. Then in the second period, Bo Berglund tied the game from Jean Savard and Jeff Brubaker. Then Bill Kitchen from Bob Stevenson and Byron Schott. 2-1 Hartford. At that point, Pittsburgh tied the game. And then we scored 2 more goals. Bo Berglund again from Jeff Bandura and Paul Coffey, and then Alex Tidy from Bernie Johnston and Bill Kitchen for 2 Hartford. After 2, then in the third period, Paul Coffey scored from Greg Carroll and Rob Ramage, and then Pittsburgh scored 3 goals, tied the game at 5, and that was the final score. And I'm starting to worry that I signed the Stashny brothers and that they cannot play due to the Iron Curtain rule. I'm going to need to take a look at that. Steve Schott out of the lineup, listed as day-to-day in Calgary. Good night for Ryan Walter with the Washington Capitals. He had a hat-trick against the Flames. Denny Potvin has a good game. He had 3 goals and 2 assists against the Jets. Good game for Rick Martin in Buffalo. He had a hat-trick against the Canucks. And Mark Napier keeps fans on their feet all night. He had 3 goals and 2 assists against the Blackhawks. So let's take a quick look here. I don't see anything that indicates that they wouldn't be able to play, but they didn't play any of the preseason games so far. I'm gonna need to be right back. Alright, sorry about that. Okay, now let's go ahead and take a look maybe in here. There's nothing that indicates in here that he can't play either. Well, I don't know. Alright, let's play Montreal. Well, they have a changed team. But they still have a lot of talent. Larry Robinson on the block is crazy. I wish I could afford him. Alright, let's play Montreal. Yeah, they're not playing the Stashny brothers at all. That's very, very worrisome to me. Alright, Bob Sauve is going to be in net for Montreal. Gilles Gilbert is going to be in net for the Whalers. And of course, go Whalers go. Another home game here. We lost that one 6-3 to the Habs. We were outshot 35-29. Doug Jarvis was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals and 2 assists. Guy Lafleur was the second star with a goal and 2 assists. And Rod Langway was the third star with 2 assists. 7,278 people in attendance for this preseason game. Montreal opened up the scoring in the first, then Rob Ramage scored from Mark Messier and Craig Laughlin. Then Montreal scored again. It was 2-1 Montreal here after 1. In the second period, Montreal scored again. It was 3-1. Then Kent Carson scored from Mike Rogers and Jay Wells. 3-2 Montreal after 2. In the third period, Paul Coffey scored on the power play from Darren Veitch and Brian Hill. It was tied at 3, and then we crumbled and allowed 3 goals, and Montreal won 6-3. No fighting in this game. Kent Carson is injured after scoring another goal. He was having a good preseason. Sucks to be him. Chicago's Peterson to take 6 months to recover from a broken kneecap. Ooh, Barry Peterson here with the injury that's going to take him out of the lineup for almost the entire season. Good night for Craig Artsberg in Minnesota. He had a hat-trick against the Canucks. Don Nagbar feeling better. And then Kent Nilsson has been put on the block by the Flames. Oh, some big names on the block, but not a whole lot of big trades like we saw in the previous preseason. So the players are put on the block, but they're not moving yet. Right, we have a day off, and now we're going to be in Minnesota to play against the North Stars. Right, North Stars have Tim Young and Bobby Smith that are hurt and not going to play this game. Right, John Garrett in net for us, Gary Edwards in net for Minnesota. Go Raiders go. A 7-4 win. We outshot Minnesota 36-29. Dave Poulin was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals and an assist. Chuck Clefley was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Mark Messier was the third star with a goal and an assist. Mark Messier opened up the scoring in the first from Jay Wells and Mike Rogers, then Wilf Payman from Mark Messier, and then Chuck Clefley from Jay Wells and Dave Poulin. 3-0 at that point. Minnesota scored twice. It was 3-2 Hartford after 1. There was a fight between Gary Sargent and Wilf Payment. Then in the second period, Glenn Anderson scored from Peter Stastny. Finally played. And Darren Veitch, and then Dave Poulin from Gordy Roberts and Paul Coffey. 5-2 Hartford, and then Minnesota scored. It was 5-3 Hartford here after 2. There was a fight between Brad Maxwell and Rob Ramage, and then Steve Christoph and Paul Coffey went at it. And in the third period, Wilf Payman scored on a power play from Mike Rogers and Paul Coffey. Then Minnesota scored. It was 6-4, and then Dave Poulin from Bob Stevenson and Chuck Clefley. 7-4 Hartford, the final score. Nice little road win, and one of the Stashneys played, so they should be good to play during the regular season. Great night for Maurice Lukovic with the Jets. He had 3 goals and 2 assists against the Rockies. And good night for Peter Sullivan in that same game. He had 4 assists. Right, the Kings are in town. Let's take a look. Now, the Kings was the worst team in the league last season, so let's see what they have here. They have some good players, so I'm not sure why they were so bad. Alright, let's play the Kings. Peter Stastny playing with his brother Anton. Alright. I need maybe another right winger. Oh, Glenn Anderson's not playing. So yeah, Glenn Anderson here with the Stastny brothers, and oh yeah. This team is starting to take form, folks. This team is starting to look pretty darn good. Just need some solid goaltending. Richard Brothers in net for the Kings. Gilles Gilbert in net for the Raiders. Go Raiders, go! 7-4 win, so we score a lot of goals, we allow a lot of goals. Should be an exciting season, not always for the right reasons. We outshot the Kings 44-23 in that one. Darren Veitch was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Anton Stastny was the second star with 3 assists. And Rick Aduano was the third star with 2 assists. 6,328 people in attendance for this game. Jay Wells opened up the scoring in the first from Bob Stevenson and Anton Stastny. Then the Kings tied the game. Then Ray Neufeld scored from Jordy Douglas and Brent Sutter. And then the Kings scored again, 2-2 after 1. There was a fight between Mark Messier and Bert Wilson. In the second period, the Kings took the lead 3-2, then Wilf Payman tied the game from Darren Veitch, and then the Kings took the lead again. It was 4-3 Kings after 2. But we scored 4 unanswered goals in the third period. Darren Veitch from Rick Aduano and Paul Coffey, then Wolf Payman from Anton Stachny, Bob Stevenson from Anton Stachny and Paul Coffey, and Chuck Lifley from Brent Sutter and Rick Aduano. We had 2 fights in the third period. Bill Kitchen fought Al Angsleben, and then Jay Wells fought Dave Taylor. Ray Neufeld is hurt. Injured to Ray Neufeld, torn ankle ligament. No, I'm gonna say. No, I'm not gonna. It's too long. Just go and heal, buddy. Alright. Let's see here. I have a lot of injuries compared to other teams. Alright, so we have a day off. And then we're playing Pittsburgh again. Oh. September scouting, alright. Training camp development. Okay, now that's what I want to see. Alright, now that's going to take a second. I'm sorry about that. Mika Lartama, one of our draft picks from this year, is getting all of that. Jean-Christophe Laurando as well, getting a whole bunch +3 shooting accuracy. That's pretty cool. Ray Allison +1 in leadership. Glenn Anderson getting open passing and defensive read. Kent Carson getting better. Oh, Kent Carson here. That scored the 2 goals and then he got hurt. Anders Carson. Paul Coffey already getting better. See, he was a 3-star potential and now he's a 3.5-star potential, and it should get up even higher. Got agility, professionalism, getting open, shooting range, and checking. Randy Coneyworth got a whole bunch of stuff too. Brian Hill got braver. Bill Kitchen. Ooh, Bill Kitchen started as a 1-star potential when I acquired him. He's now a 1.5-star potential. He might end up playing on the 3rd pair or something. Craig Laughlin. Mark Messier, Ray Neufeld, Dave Poulin getting better as well. So a lot of players got a lot of points. Now, it's not all players that I have plans for in the future, but hey, you never know. Some of them can overcome what they did in real life. I don't care how many tickets we sold. I don't take care of my finances. I'm very irresponsible. Let's play Pittsburgh. Do they have injuries? Not really. You just have Stackhouse that's hurt a little bit. Greg Millen in net for Pittsburgh. John Garrett in net for the Whalers. And of course, go Whalers, go. A 5-3 win. So we've been doing pretty good in preseason so far. We outshot Pittsburgh 41-37. Anton Stachny was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Randy Carlisle was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Peter Stachny was the 3rd star with 2 goals. 6,312 people in attendance for this game. Peter Stachny opened up the scoring in the first from Anton Stachny and Glenn Anderson. 1-0 Hartford after 1. And we had fights between Paul Coffey and Kurt Fraser. And then Jay Wells and Randy Carlisle. Then in the second period, the Pittsburgh Penguins scored, tied the game, and then Jordy Douglas scored from Alex Tidy and Jay Wells. 2-1 Hartford after 2. A couple more fights, Darren Veitch and Ross Anderson, and then Bill Kitchen and Pat Hughes. And in the third period, Pittsburgh took a 3-2 lead, and then we scored 3 goals. Mike Rogers from Jordy Douglas and Rob Ramage, then Peter Stastny from Anton Stastny and Glenn Anderson, and Jay Wells scored in an empty net from Wilf Payment and Greg Carroll, 5-3 the final score. Alright, and I believe we have one more day, not day off, but a preseason game, which is going to be against the Boston Bruins. The top-selling Hartford jerseys for September: Wilf Payment, John Garrett, Mark Messier, Paul Coffey, and Gordy Roberts. And in the entire NHL, it was Guy Lafleur and Rick Middleton. Alright, we are in Boston to play the Bruins. No injuries in Boston. Oh, FJ's favorite Mike Krushelensky is there playing for the Bruins. Alright, let's play the Bruins. Gilles Gilbert is going to be in net for Hartford. Paul Ireson in net for Boston. Go Waiters, go. And a 4-3 victory to end the preseason. I think we only lost one game against Montreal. I think we won. Oh no, we had a tie as well. That's true. Boston outshot us 31-30. Mike Rogers was the first out of the game. He had a goal and an assist. That's which Bob Miller was the second star with 2 assists, and Paul Coffey was the third star with a goal and an assist. Darren Veitch opened up the scoring in the first period. That was a power play goal from Paul Coffey and Mike Rogers. Then the Bruins scored, and then Gordy Roberts scored from Bill Bennett and Peter Stastny. 2-1 Hartford after one. A fight between Doug Riseborough and Mark Messier, and then between Paul Holmgren and Glenn Anderson, and then between Al Seckert and Mark Messier. And in the second period, Boston tied the game. Then Paul Coffey scored from Greg Carroll and Glenn Anderson, and then Mike Rogers from Bill Kitchen and Bob Stevenson. 4-2 Hartford after 2. And then Boston added a goal in the third, but it was too little too late. And we had a fight between Brad Park and Paul Coffey as well. Oh, Ray Bourque is hurt against us, and he's gonna miss 9 weeks, and that happened against us. Oh, star player here that's gonna miss over 2 months of action. Bob Gainey is hurt in Montreal, but he's day-to-day. Strong night for Rick Keogh in Pittsburgh. He had 4 assists against the Nordiques. Good night for Dennis Marouk in Washington. He had 3 goals and 3 assists against the Islanders. And Denis Potvin has a great game. He had 4 assists against the Washington Capitals in that same game. Alrighty, we have 4 days off before the start of the regular season. Apparently, John Garrett is hurt, but he can play. Let's advance 1 day. See what happens here. That's fine. Right. And Anders Edberg might be traded out of Calgary. Alright, so this is where we are going to stop. Now, of course, before the start of the next stream, I'm going to take a look at our roster and who will start the season in Hartford and who will not, and we will go from there. So, of course, next time out is going to be the month of October. So I have a good feeling for the Oilers this season. I think we have a pretty strong team. I'm a little more worried about what we have in net. That's probably where we are going to be struggling. We do have Mike Vernon that's going to be coming in the future, but he's not ready yet, so we can't count on him. So we kind of have to go with our aging goaltenders for now, unless something, falls on our lap. So that's going to be it for today. As usual, folks, I do want to thank you for tuning in. And as it is customary, ARG is going to be out. And peace out. Until next time.